Hope you can hear me. Hi everybody. I'm having a problem with the stream elements, of course. Okay. So hopefully you can hear me. Hope you can hear me. Yeah, I think the sound is working. Okay. Hi everybody. Welcome to the monthly stream. This is the second monthly stream. So we have anniversary or monthly anniversary. Thank you for joining me. Well, what are the plans for today? Okay, so once again, I will be talking a lot of nonsense as always. We'll be going through a couple of my projects. One project will be probably in the video, featured in the video next week, if everything goes well. Unfortunately, not all the things go well all the time. So maybe I will have to scrap that idea and film something else. Second of all, I'll talk about the future projects. A couple of projects I'm working on. I've been working for last month and a half. They are now about 25-30% done. So I'll let you in on them and some other ideas. We'll also see what's new with the release of 0.113.1. I haven't upgraded that one still for Home Assistant. And of course, if you have any kind of questions or ideas, we'll browse through various things. So first of all, let me start with the project I'm currently working on. Let me switch the tab here. Okay. So I think 3 months ago, I was contacted by the pesor. You can find him on the GitHub. And he has made a custom firmware for this LilyGo, TTGo, HiGrow MQTT board. So what this board is, this is the ESP32 board, and on itself it has a couple of sensors, well, a lot of sensors. One of them is the illumination sensor, so it can track the lux, the light intensity. Second one is the temperature and humidity sensor. That detects temperature and humidity in the air. Then it has this part here, which is the oh, my mouse is not visible. Let me see if I can fix that. Nope, just a second. Capture cursor. Okay, now it's visible. So this is the conductivity. This is the how it's called, yeah, this is the resistance, these metal pin here, and this one is conductivity. It uses the humidity inside the ground to track the humidity in the pot, in the soil. Okay, so this is a great board. You can buy it on the AliExpress. If anybody is interested, I have here a link where I bought mine. But when you buy it, it comes with a firmware that works only with their own application, and it uses, I think, a cloud component. So first of all, you cannot connect it to anything. There is no MQTT. There isn't anything in the software itself. So pesor or Per, what he did custom firmware for this that enables you to pull all the data from the board and to, of course, then pull it inside the Home Assistant through the MQTT server. Unfortunately, at this point, because of the way it is done now, you have to add all the sensors by hand by querying the MQTT server. But on the other hand, what I'm doing, this is my GitHub page. I've started working on the integration, Home Assistant integration for this custom firmware. So this is let's call it a long-term project where Per has built a great firmware for this. I did a couple of tweaks since I'm using MQTT with the username and passwords. I helped him implement this part, and also I did some tweaks with the DHT humidity and temperature sensor, but more or less he's done everything for that. He even made a 3D printed case. And now I'll try to, during the summer and my holidays, to finish this custom component that will enable you that will enable you through the HACS or Home Assistant Community Store to install the integration and pull all the data. So let me show you how this is seen inside the Home Assistant. Let me close this. Let me open this. So this is my home setup. And as you can see, there are a couple of ways you can implement it. One way is by using all those MQTT commands, where you pull each individual information from the sensor. So we have salinity. This enables you to test the quality of the soil for the plant. Then you have soil humidity. This is the value that tells you if there is too much water or too little water inside the soil for the plant. These are just plain temperature and humidity sensors for the room, not for the soil itself. Then we have information about the battery, how many times it booted. Boot means, since Per wanted to improve the quality of the battery, he made it sleep for 1 hour. So this means that last time I would say it flashed it or rebooted it, it was 79 hours ago. Hey Rasby, hi. This is the firmware release. I'm using 1.5, currently 1.6 is outside. This is the lux sensor for the light intensity, and if you have problem with the Wi-Fi, this will trigger additional sleep timer for 5 minutes and tell you if it had to wait for the Wi-Fi network or not. So let me pull the other camera here. Okay. The picture is not that great. So this is the board. I've ordered batteries, but they still haven't arrived. So I had spare 500 milliamp hours lithium ion battery. There is a case for it. The board includes in itself also charger. So what you can do is you hook up battery here. Then you use USB-C cable to program this board, but you can also use it to charge the lithium-ion battery. Let me show you what happens when you reboot it. I just removed it from the soil. So at this point, it's showing that humidity for the plant is, for the soil is 66%. And let me reboot it. It will take a couple of seconds for board to reboot, connect to Wi-Fi, and send the new data. And as you can see now, it's 2%, meaning that, yeah, it's not in the soil, and that's it. And the light intensity is here. Oh, sorry, the salt is non-existent. Light intensity is a bit, yeah, higher or whatever. So this is one project. This is one of the projects I've been working last, I don't know how long. Not that long, really, because as I said, Per mostly worked on it. Okay, so the plan is to film the procedure on how you can flash the board, how you can customize it, how you can integrate it with the Home Assistant, and after that I will be doing a second video when I finish the Home Assistant integration component for this component. Okay, and the second project I've been working on is, let me pull this. Let me switch the camera once again. I apologize. I previously said, unfortunately, I'm having issues with the Stream Elements and it doesn't update the chat window. So I have to pull up the YouTube pop-up screen for this. Okay, so I don't know if anybody is interested or working or has or had or is planning to, but I started to work with the DIYBMS, or let's call it, the project itself is the Powerwall, meaning the DIY Powerwall, something similar like Tesla has been selling in the United States or some other countries, but not here. So the whole project will be something like this. I'm building my own battery pack. It will be small one because it's just for the test purposes. I think it will be somewhere around 40 amp hours, 24 volts. Then I'm building these components. So this is the controller board. It's using the ESP board. You can order them pre-assembled. When I say pre-assembled, most of the things are pre-assembled. You still have to add headers here and the JST connectors and this LED, but all the microcontrollers, all the other surface mount components such as these are already pre-assembled. And you have to have one of those, and you have to have also modules. These are the battery pack modules. So each battery pack you have has to have at least one of those boards. You connect one side to the battery, and then you cascade wires from the controller to the module, from the module to the other module, and then bring it back to the controller. And this is a battery management system. It has onboard temperature control. It has a possibility to include the external temperature sensor that you can put directly inside battery. And the idea for this whole project is to, at the end, have some kind of a solar panel, some kind of a charge controller and inverter, and then try to tie everything with the Home Assistant. So you will be able to, let's say, follow a couple of videos. I think it will be at least 4 or 5 videos, and build your own Powerwall. So if you're interested into off-grid systems, or you want to build some kind of power redundancy or emergency power solution, this will be great, I hope, great project to follow and do something like that. Okay, wow, this will be a short stream. Just kidding. So okay, so those are the 2 projects I'm currently working on. I'm still waiting. Yeah, this pandemic didn't help with the shipping of the items from the suppliers. I think this plant sensor took about 2.5 months to arrive. Those boards, they were pretty quick. I think that it took only them 2 weeks, but I'm still waiting for other components that are missing. For example, JST connectors and the cables and things like that, and the USB ISP programmer. I've been waiting for that for, I think, I don't know, 2 months or something like that. Yeah, okay. So this is in my beta page. These are the things that I'm working that are not finished. Unfortunately, as you can see, my Thunderstorm project is also on hold. I'm unable to make it work as I want it to be working. Also, my Geiger counter is still on hold. It's also not working as is. I've been waiting for 100 days now, or more than 100 days, for the ion chamber so I can test the sensor. Yeah, but more or less that's it. I did notice when I was working something that we have version. Okay, once again it's not switching and it's not updating screen. Okay, so I talk about something and the screen is not updating. Yeah, yes, they are. Yes, Raspberry, they really are. I think that, well, something crashed outside. Okay, I don't know what will be the total cost for the project, but I think that if you look at Baterium, or how it's called, for the battery management solution, this is equivalent. This is not same as Baterium. Baterium, of course, is a professional build system. This is DIY system. I think that you can pay it for, I don't know, $400, $500 if I'm not mistaken, for the whole set. This one will be around $60. When you look at the solar panels, you can find, I don't know, those are the small ones, those are the Chinese copies, of course. They do have declared value that are higher than the one you get, of course. But I think that you can get solar panels for below $100 per 450 watts or something like that. Charge controllers also, there are a couple of great companies. I like. I've been searching. I've been looking into this matter for a few months now, and I think that how they are called, Make Power Green or something like that, Chinese company. They have nice controllers that are not expensive. I think that you can get them below $100 that are 50 amps or 60 amps. Yeah, and then you get to the inverter. Inverters are still expensive, no matter what kind of inverter are you looking at. I see that some people go into those and buy those all-in-one boxes that have charge controller and the inverter also, but I'm not sure if I would go that route. I think it's always better if you can have two separate components, each doing what it's supposed to be doing, than one single component that is trying to do everything and in the end is not doing anything correctly. And second thing is that, for example, if charge controller dies, you still have inverter until you get the new charge controller, or vice versa. If the inverter dies, you can get it repaired, fixed, or replaced while you still get your batteries charged. If you have those all-in-one things, I don't think that they are that good. But that's my personal opinion. I am really no expert into that. Let's see what's new with the version 113.1. Okay, just a second. Yeah, of course, wrong screen once again. Let me just try to get this here. Okay. I'm frequent follower of the following address. So it's rc.homeassistant.io. If you do not know, this is the web page for the release candidates. Usually updates are here. Now updates for the Home Assistant done every 3 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. And the page or data for the next release, for the following release, is always up and running at least 7 days before that release. So at least I think on the 10th of July or 14th of July there was already a page with the 0.113.0, and it's great because you can also track here what are some breaking changes. But after it is released, you have to go here and check the release notes. Whoop. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I know this issue. Somebody said that I think it's in Ireland. It was a couple of years ago. I think that I've seen that on yeah, I don't know, on Discord somewhere, that Ireland was subsidizing wood pellets for the heating, and it was subsidizing it in such a way that people, companies used to sack everybody or not work. They would just heat the empty space and they would get more money out of it than if they would work and do anything else. So yeah, the subsidies and incentives can go both ways. Sometimes they do not end up on the end users. Dealers and sellers take everything. Okay, so Discord Python was updated, Route 53, PySmartThings, Android TV, bumps, ZeroConf. Nothing too frightening. I already upgraded my system to the version 0.113. So I'll now just press update for this version. Okay. It takes a bit longer since I have a lot of integrations here, and yeah. Here we have now big incentives on electric cars, but at the end you still need for decent electric cars a pretty hefty investments to get one. Although there is, I think I've seen that there is a car currently selling for somewhere around $12,000. This is, I think, Nissan or something like that. And with the incentives, the price has gone down to somewhere around $12,000. But if you want to get any kind of a premium car, you still have to pay a lot of money. Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. There are a couple of energy operators or power electric utility companies here that are trying to do something similar where they sit between you and the grid as a broker, and where they sit between you and the electrical grid as a broker. Then they do some kind of revenue sharing. On the other hand, they lease you the equipment. So this is something similar as what you're saying, and you never know how lucky you will be. We just had yesterday flash floods here. Downtown was underwater, and it's summer, and usually in the summer we have 30 plus degrees. Last couple of days we have, I don't know, 24, no sun and things like that. So yeah, you go into the investment and then you have not 4 hours average per year, average per day per year of sun. You have 2 hours, and then what? You end up paying much more than if you would be buying more expensive electricity. Yeah, it's funny how we still have oil incentives. With although world is changing, we still do subsidize everything related to the oil. It's like banks. I work with banks. No way they will be on the loss. Yeah, if something really terrible goes with the whole market, but with the average Joe, they will never lose. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Reconnecting. Now we should restart pretty fast, I think. Oh, I hate when the screen doesn't update and it's once again not updating. Something is going on with my OBS today. It doesn't want to play nice. Okay. Yeah. One thing I wanted to mention today and talk a little bit about is all this Zigbee. I will call it war, but it's not really a war. You know, CC2531 users on the one side and Deacons, Combi users on the other side. Sorry, Combi users on the other side. Some using Zigbee to MQTT, others using Deacons software. It's really strange. I think that our position should be, if it works for you, great. If there is a better solution, try it. If it suits you, go that way. If something doesn't work, try something else. So yeah, we should be, if we are building already systems that are DIY, home automation systems, and Home Assistant definitely is DIY, although it's a great system, you still have to tweak it and work on it. I don't see why there is such a need, tensions between the groups and users, and I do see it on the community, Home Assistant community also. and from some people where they go really hard and down on the on users that are using X or Z as a technology. And one thing I started when I started with the Home Assistant, I didn't have Zigbee stick. I used IKEA Tradfi controller, and finally, after about a year and a half, I completely removed it because there is no purpose for me to have it anymore. It was only putting an overhead on the system, and I removed it, since now you can do upgrades inside Zigbee to MQTT, and they were great. So far I upgraded all my IKEA devices 2 times, so I know that this is working, and it's really working great. And I removed it couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, and now I have another issue. The issue started popping up because I think I was on the borderline between the too many and still not too many sensors, Zigbee sensors for the CC2531. And what happened is that I had to completely remove all my devices and repair them at least 2 times in the past 3 weeks or something like that. And it was in a period of, I think, only a week. So in 1 week I had to do it a couple of times. Yeah. Sorry, counter. It should be. Let me just pull this out. Yeah, we have here 4,792, and it was pretty calm for a couple of weeks. Now we are averaging between 50 and 100, 110 new cases per day, which is when you have at least, I know, 2-3 weeks 0 cases is a big increase for us. But we are still a small country, so we are 4.5 million people here. So yeah, it's about, I think I calculated it yesterday. It's about 1 case per 1 new case daily on 45,000 people, something like that. Okay, so Raspberry, that's what I'm trying to say, is that if it works for you, don't change it. You really do not have it. I've been working with the CC2531 for last, I don't know, at least a year, if not year and a half. This is the map of my devices. Of course, it's not updating once again. Let me try to update it. Oh, how I hate it. So these are currently my devices. I have to move the glass away because I don't see the screen. But let me switch to Zigbee to MQTT admin, or how it's called. Okay. Why this is not updating? Okay, so these are all my devices. For some it shows unresponsive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but all of them are working great. I still haven't figured out what is the reason for the system to see something as unresponsive, even if I can turn that device on and off. Most of the devices I have, as you can see, are IKEA. I have some Xiaomi. Xiaomi are those, sensors for the motion, cube, and buttons. Where is it? One. So switches. It's working for me, so this is why I haven't tried Conbi or Deacons now. If I would do something now, I would try this new stick. I can't remember what's the name. It's CC26, something like that. If this one costs, I don't know, $10, that one costs $50 or $60, so it's much more expensive. But from what I read on the internet and from the author of this Zigbee component, is that range is much better, there is a better, much more devices can be handled by this stick because it has a larger memory. And this is really the problem I ran into a couple of weeks ago, after a lot of scratching my head because I had to repair all those devices. Yeah, I know it's not hundreds of them, but still repairing every one of them when you have, you know, 5 of those that you have to take ladder and to disconnect them. You don't want to do that every day. And solution for me was just to use different version of the firmware. So what I did, oh, how I hate, just a second, let me try something, because okay, let's see if it's now working. Nope, still not working. Just a second. Nope. Oh, hey, it's one of those days. Automatic. Nope, still not working. I hate this stream elements. Okay. Let me try and see. No. Yeah, coordinator version is same as the normal one, but this one is how it's called, this firmware, repeater version, meaning that it can only handle, I think, 5 devices directly connected to it, and then all the other devices act as routers that somehow interconnect with this coordinator. It, on the other hand, adds a lot more stability on the network because those CC2531 devices were never intended to be used for what are they used, and they had the issue and problem with the capacity. So if we have a lot of devices, if all those devices trigger some kind of events, for example, I have motion sensor, humidity sensor, things like that, and they make regular traffic on the Zigbee network, you sometimes get the network, let's call it, it just starts dropping connections, losing devices, and when you change this to other version of the firmware, it works flawlessly. I also found that now my devices trigger much more faster than they used to trigger before. Yeah, if Combi is working for you, you should definitely keep on using it. I don't know what is the future of the ZHA integration. I know that they are working on it, but unfortunately at this point it's losing battle on one side with the decons, on the other side with the Zigbee to MQTT, because a lot more effort and a lot more people are focused on just developing functionality for those two solutions. On the other hand, I also know that Combi is now being worked on, and it will be included. It will be included in the Zigbee to MQTT. I think there is also beta version now that you can use and test the Combi stick with the Zigbee to MQTT. We can check it if my window will change. Okay, let's see. Let's go to Zigbee to MQTT. I know that I've seen something about decons. I don't know where. Adapters. This is the one. This is the stick I was telling you about. This is CC2652BR. it's much more expensive. Yeah, Combi too. So as you can see, it is now, let's call it, officially supported, but still experimental. Okay, I know that I've seen somewhere. Okay, let's go back to the Home Assistant, but not this one. Yeah, I changed the screen, but the image here remains same. I know this is a problem with the uh, driver. Let's try it like this. Just a second. Nope. Oh. Yeah, this will be fun. Okay. Let's go to HACS.io. So this is my recording setup. What's this? Tropical cyclone. Okay, interesting. I think that this one is not updated. Yeah, it's still running 112.2. I will not be updating. It takes a lot of time. This is on an Intel NUC, but one core, very slow, very everything. So I will definitely not be doing anything on this one. Okay, what I wanted to show you is this. So as I said, I'm working on a couple of things, and one of the things I'm working on is my configuration. So I've started commenting everything. I've added the list of all devices I have. I will be adding links to all devices I have, bits and pieces about my configuration, and here you can find almost all the configuration files I'm using. So why am I showing you this? Because as you can see, this is now 3 months old and I still didn't manage to release it. Why? Yeah, always something else to do, unfortunately, and not too much time and concentration to go through every single file and check if there are any kind of personal data, passwords or addresses that shouldn't be here. For example, I thought I finished everything 17 days ago, and a couple of days later I went once again through everything and found a couple of username and passwords that shouldn't be there. Yeah, my Node-RED, we will definitely not go into how my Node-RED looks. I have everything here, and I know that people will probably be frustrated when I release everything, because as you can see, everything is handled by the YAML files here. I only have, I think, 3 automations that are dependent on Node-RED. For example, camera. Yeah, I think that this one is using somewhere in between all of these. This one is using the Node-RED. I really do not. I think that webhook is triggered by Node-RED because there was a problem on how to call the webhook from the Synology. I think that Home Assistant was expecting pull, but I was unable to make pull webhook, so I had to make get webhook, use Node-RED to translate it, and then pull the webhook on the Home Assistant side. Yeah. so yeah, my Node-RED is I simply, the problem is that I always want to do, I call myself hamster, you know, I'm all over the place. And my concentration is very, very low when I work on something. If I cannot do it in 15 minutes, then I just leave it and go to next thing. So this is probably why this repository still isn't public, but I promise you I'm going on a vacation soon, and one of the things besides relaxation and enjoying the heat, summer heat, I will also try to finish up the documentation for everything and release this as a public, so you can of course tell me that there are more easier or functional or better ways to do something than I did. For example, let's look at my, if you go to the configuration, you will see that I tried really hard to document everything. If we, for example, go to InfluxDB, you will see, and I don't think that this is my, no, this is not mine. Let's go to Octoprint. No, bad example. Shelly. Okay. So what I did try to put as minimum in every file is the name of the component if you want to search for it, and also a link to either the GitHub page or any page where you can find documentation for each and every integration, sensor, or things like that. So I really do hope that anybody who will try to read this overwhelmingly complex configuration will be able to handle it. Yeah, as you can see, utility meters, and then it points you into the integration utility meter. And automations, a lot of them. Customization, not so much. Entities. And then, for example, you go to sensors. And as you can see, everything, every single sensor is in the individual file. I think that I will be removing all those. It's still private. Unfortunately, it's still private. I'm still finding, I try to clean it up, to document everything, but unfortunately it still has, as I said a couple of days ago, I found there was a username and password for my Proxmox installation, which on the other hand will not help you because those are the number random username and passwords. I use for each service different username and password, and this system is closed. You cannot access it from the outside, but just to be safe, I'm really trying to go through every file and clean it up before I publish this. I've left out the old disabled configuration files. Most of those things are now either integrated directly into the Home Assistant, but for anybody that wants to try and use old integration or has, I don't know, old systems, they can of course use it. So as you can see, a lot of various things. There's some things I really do not use. I don't know why I still have this here. I was testing it and I wasn't pleased, and my family was less pleased than me. So at the end, I scrapped this idea of using circadian lighting. The idea is great, and if you look at, you know, from academic point of view, it should really help to have indoors duplicate of what's normal in the nature. So, you know, going from the cold light to the noon light, then to the evening red light. But unfortunately, it just wasn't feeling natural when you are used to live in the artificial light, when you're used to have additional artificial light inside your home. So I scrapped that idea. Device trackers, okay. So as I said, I really am trying to clean this up. I did send a link to a couple of my friends for them to check, but you know, some of the things here are trackers for my kids, and I really do not want to have that information published on the internet. And the bad thing about GitHub, if you do not want to have history, such as this one, where you can see what I changed, cleanup of text, update configuration. If I, for example, leave any kind of password inside, the only way to remove that password is to completely remove this repository and start syncing everything from the scratch with the cleaned configuration. So yeah, this is why I'm really fighting to get this out. Okay. Okay, let's go back to the Home Assistant if I manage to find it. Let me try to pull it this way because I hate. Yeah, let's see if it will now be updating. Okay. Ah, it's working great. So we did talk about Zigbee. Now I can scroll normally, finally. These are, as I said previously, all of my devices. Most of them are IKEA. This is the map of all devices. I really like it, but I do not use it. I just use it to remind myself how everything is complex. And as I said, I'm using Zigbee to MQTT assistant. This is this iframe here. Zigbee to MQTT version is 1.14.2. I think it was released a couple of days ago, a new version. Coordinator is this version from the last year. There isn't a newer standard version. I did try development version, but I try to also avoid any kind of a beta version on my, let's call it, production or home setup. You all know what this is, Zigbee to MQTT map. It takes a bit to load, but on the other hand, it really helps if you see some kind of a device floating here without connection. You can just go there and flip the switch or do something and it will reconnect once again. Okay. My throat. Let me sip it. Oh, how beautiful it looks now. You can follow what I'm doing on the screen. I really apologize for it. I hate it. Something really was going on with the stream elements. I'm still using this air quality sensor or CO2 and VOC sensor. It's really working great. I find it very interesting to see how the sensor changes when you close the window, because it's summer, we usually keep the windows open, and as soon as you open the window, the VOC levels drop down. When you close the windows and you start watching TV, and for example 4 of us sit down in the living room, watch TV, you can see that CO2 levels go up and also the VOC starts to go up. It's funny. Oh, somebody's playing on Minecraft server. Let's see who this is. Hi, Iron Dragon. Second sensor that I'm still using, and I think it's great, and if you have chance to do it yourself, do it. Let me just move this out of my way. It should be here. This is the Luftdaten sensor. Oh yeah. Oh, one nice thing. Okay, I will just, if I don't forget, show you also something else. There is this Luftdaten sensor. This is also DIY sensor. If you didn't see, you can check my video. There is somewhere on my channel video in the long list of Home Assistant how-tos. This one tracks the PM 2.5 and PM 10 particles inside a living room, and also humidity and temperature. I don't know why it's now unavailable. Sometimes there is a problem with the server in the Germany, I think. And what I wanted to show you, what I remembered, is that, in just a second, let me try to open it up here. I'm really proud to myself. I backed my first project on a Kickstarter. Okay. I don't know who I forgot who pointed me in direction of that project. Let me just change here. Okay, so this is the project I backed I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago. I think like I have a fetish on the indoor environment monitoring sensors. So when it finished, I think it was July 25th. It's today. Just a second. I think it was 2 weeks ago. Okay, never mind. So what this board has, it's also indoor air quality. It can be also used outdoors, but it's, let's call it like that, indoor. It has sensors for sound, humidity, light, temperature, air quality, and particles. It can work with the following boards. So I ordered it and hope that they will add ESP boards. I still hope that somebody will do it. It's very small boards. You do have to buy external sensors. I also ordered with this board, since I already have Nova SDS 011. This one is used for the Luftdaten. I ordered the second sensor. I will try to show you where it is. So air quality VOC once again. Temperature, humidity, air pressure, air quality equivalent to, okay, VOC, CO2. So this is once again estimated CO2, eCO2, sound pressure, sound level, amplitude, peak sound amplitude, illuminance, and white light level. So it's really great. It's really great sensor, and I liked it. I ordered this board with the additional air quality sensor. I think that's this one. Yeah, this one. PPD42. Yes. The price was for on the on the Kickstarter was, I think, £39 for this board and this sensor, and you do get all the jumper wires to connect everything. Hi from Croatia. How are you doing, Nicholas? So this was really my first ever project that I decided to support on the Kickstarter, and I'm really proud of how it went, and they did match all the goals. They even did manage to get 2 additional goals added to the project and backed in, I don't know, 3 days before the project closed. It's now in the production phase, in the manufacturing phase, and I hope in September I will also get this board so I can play with something else. As I said, I'm like a hamster. I just jump from one project to the other. Let's change screen back here. Okay. So what's new since the last stream? I managed to play a little bit more with those tabs here, and I rearrange everything, so my home screen is now less cluttered. I don't know how you are using Home Assistant. I think I'm the only person here in apartment to be using Home Assistant as application to control home. So this user interface is really for me. I know that my wife has it on her mobile phone, but she doesn't use it, and I think my daughter also has it on her mobile phone, but she also is not using it. So at the end, this is user interface just for me. We use most of the Home Assistants either through automations, meaning that some things are triggered based on the condition or the statuses of other things, or we use voice control for controlling lights and things like that. So as I said, nobody except me is using it, and that's why I decluttered screens a little bit more. So now I have information that I want to see on a glance. This is something that is tab that is related to the video, to the weather. This one is for the lights. I use it often. My wife, when she's having issues with the Google Home, in terms of her saying turn the kitchen lights on, and it then reads her poem from Edgar Allan Poe, something like that. Then I quickly jump to this screen and just click the room I want to get lights in. New thing that I added is the media tab. I had too many Google devices and Lenovo smart displays here, so I decided to add one additional page just to have them sorted out on one page. I use it here to wake the kids or to send the messages when I'm lazy to go into their room. So for example, I think the closest one to me is Minimi. There's this. Let me just max out the volume and
let's test it.
Okay, yeah, you can hear it. So I use this to send messages, and I also use this to see the information about the TV. Currently somebody is watching something on a TV and it's not live TV, so probably movie or something. This one I haven't touched in a while. It just works. In the winter I sometimes go on this page to track the information about the heating. I have heating, but I did find a couple of issues with the tado, and that's why I added this here. It now triggers when the state changes and stays on that state for a period longer than 90 minutes. Yeah, definitely Raspberry. I have a couple of tablets, and unfortunately all of them have broken screen. So when I get the new tablet, I will definitely try and put something in a central place where other users or my family can use it to change it by interface, not by voice. Okay, this is my favorite page. I don't go here often, but I'm there at least once a day. So this is the Shelly page, let's call it like that. More or less every sensor here now is Shelly. I even moved my Ender 3 3D printer to it, so I'm now tracking everything here. I'm really satisfied with how it's working. As you can see, I had one issue here. It's 4.1 kilowatt hours was washing machine's last state, and then it fell to 0 because we lost power this morning. I don't know why. I do know that yesterday, as I said, we had a really heavy storm. There were flash floods in the center of the city. Unfortunately, one fireman also died due to heart attack while pumping water out of the basements and things like that. Children's hospital that was damaged in the earthquake 4 months ago again was flooded. The basement was flooded, and inside the basement is a pharmacy. so medicine was lost and protective equipment and things like that. But yeah, hi Germany. So today in the morning we had power. We lost power for, I don't know, 15-20 minutes. It's no issue since I have UPS, and everything continued to run and work normally. This is my Synology. One thing I added is the new security status. This is a very nice feature they've added. They are now pulling the information about the security status of the Synology, so you can see if everything is compliant or not. There is a new update. I still haven't updated. I try to carefully calculate changes and fixes in the last update, because I'm also running some kind of weird software on my Synology, and if I upgrade too soon, that can fail and then I cannot revert back. So this is why I usually keep at least 1 month of updates in a backlog. Everything else is more or less the same. I have one network warning, but that's nothing serious. As you can see, I have UPS. Again, it's time to change battery. Normally, I think I have about 90 minutes of runtime. I'm currently at 2600. It's roughly 40 minutes. So yeah, every 2 years you definitely need to change battery in UPS. It doesn't matter if you use it or not. Just by keeping it charged all the time, it starts degrading and you have to replace it. My Ender 3. I've added here one additional thing. Is let me try to turn it on. Hopefully I did insert cable. Yeah, I did. It will take a bit for it to load. I will come back to it. This is my never-ending list of all the... I'm looking for a nice word. All the things I'm ordering on the internet. This is my test page for the weird stuff. So we have pandemic sensor, GDACS alert sensor, radiation sensor. This is the earthquake map. I'll skip this one. Yep. I don't know. Yeah, my friends really think I'm strange because, yeah, all those weird sensors. I've added my HP here. So I'm now tracking also the color inside the printer. And I see that my kids have been playing with the printer a lot because all those cartridges were new 2 weeks ago. Okay, time to restock once again. I don't know if anybody managed to get this tune-in or any kind of radio working with the Google devices. Okay, printer is up. I'm still having a hard time with it. I cannot make it work in such a way that I can use drop-down menu, select radio stations and things like that. So if anybody has some kind of idea on how to do it, please help me with that. So yeah, this is something new that I did. I have this Octoprint set up for at least a year now, if not more. But now I've installed on the Octoprint server also the MQTT component, and there is a MQTT plugin for Octoprint, and now there is also Home Assistant MQTT Octoprint plugin, and it pushes really a lot of information to Home Assistant. This is just the way how I start with. I pull everything and then I try to discard things that I don't like. For example, I already know I will be removing this slicing because I never slice on my Octoprint. I use for that what I use for that. Okay, I'm blocked. I use software on Ultimaker Cura. Okay, yeah. Sorry. So I don't use this option on my printer. I will remove that. But all the other options are really great to have. I think I mentioned on the last stream, or maybe I didn't. I did manage to get the new smart sensor from the Big Tree Tech. The one I got last October wasn't working as it's supposed to work, and it took me about 3 or 4 months to figure it out, go back and forth between the Big Tree Tech, and finally they sent me a new one. And yeah, they acknowledged the issue with the sensor just a few days before the Chinese New Year, and everybody knows what happened during the Chinese New Year. So you had 2 weeks of Chinese New Year, then you have 2 months of lockdown due to the virus, and of course after the Chinese lockdown finished, the world lockdown started. So it took a really long time for this item to arrive, but I now have it here. I still have to play a little bit more with it so I can start working with the multiple filaments for one print to change colors and things like that. Sorry, my throat is dying. Yeah, okay. Let's see what else. So I see a lot of people are having issues with the iFrames. And I have to be honest, not all of the iFrames here are working. For example, AdGuard is not working, and this is known issue. I think I wrote it as in a comment on the Pi-hole video a few days ago. So if you have HTTPS connection to Home Assistant, meaning that you have SSL certificate enabled, and you try to insert with the iframe page that is HTTP, this page will be blocked. This is the reason, for example, why I cannot get the AdGuard page here. I think I managed to get everything else here, including Grafana working, because I then inserted a SSL certificate into each of those components, and I was able to have HTTPS page embedded inside the HTTPS page. Embedding HTTPS pages inside HTTP or vice versa is a security issue, and this is blocked here. So this is why people cannot embed pages with a certificate on a page without, or they cannot embed inside the pages with the certificate page that doesn't have. This is a standard security feature because this is one of the way of how hackers try to hijack parts of the page and make you do something inside them. But more or less everything else should be now working. As you can see, whoa, yeah, I should update this. ESP Home is working. Grafana, please open, please open. Yeah, it's also working. I'm not using Grafana much anymore. I'm relying more or less on the Home Assistant community store and the components to do graphs like that. Grafana is still great, and I will be using Grafana for this DIY Powerball project. I will be having there graphs that are monitoring battery charge, battery discharge, solar panel charging rates, inverter, power in, power out, power consumption, and things like that. This will be a great project for Grafana. But for more or less everything else here, I think that embedding this graph, for example, for the internet speed inside the page here is much better and more user-friendly than having a specific page inside Grafana with that. Okay, I have to update it. Let's go briefly through the components I'm currently using if somebody is interested. So this one is brand new. I still haven't configured it inside Home Assistant. I think I enabled it yesterday. previously I used WWLLN, so it's worldwide lightning location network, yeah, WWLLN, but they stopped providing data to the public, so this is why the component stopped working. And I've seen now that somebody added blitzortung.org web page, so I will be using this one to get notifications if I have any kind of storm approaching. Breaking changes, I have it installed, I really do not use it. Calendarific also I'm not using. Circadian Lightning I'm not using. MB latest media I'm using, although I do not have new media incoming to my media center, so it's more or less static. Garbage collection I do use, and I know that a couple of my friends installed it also. It's a great component, especially since we now have stable schedule of when each of the bins has to be emptied. They were really changing it, you know, you put one bag and I said no, last week we changed, this week or this day it's something else, and things like that. Yeah, local loop data sensor, I prefer it because it's much more stable than using the server one. I don't know if this is the issue with the server they are using or with my connection with them, but I do get some kind of issues with the Luftdaten website. So using local data from the sensor, it's much more quickly, although the accuracy of the local sensor is lower than the one provided by the website. So how this component works, it has to combine particle matter information with the humidity, temperature and pressure, and this sensor just pulls this data. So you get raw data, raw PM 2.5, PM 10, pressure, humidity and temperature, and it doesn't do any kind of calculation. When you send it to their server calculates, and it gives you more precise data on the air quality based on all those factors. So yeah, MikroTik router I'm not using. Next rocket launch, I have it installed, I see it every day a couple of times, but I'm really not using that much. Shell integration, this one I'm definitely using. YouTube sensor, this is more or less just for fun. I track my channel, and in the end I'm still, yeah, I still remember what video was the last video I released, so I don't need it, but it's fun to have it. Okay, let's see what I have here. Atomic calendar revive, yes, I'm using. Auto entities, not that much anymore, more or less. No, this one I'm using because it's part of the other cards. Juan Tech, he made a great theme. It matches, you know, Google Light theme. It matches the Google experience. So this is the one I'm currently using. I have this one installed, and I have this one installed, and I have this one installed, but I'm having issues with them. I think that my Node-RED part of the component is not working as it should be working. So yeah, that's why I'm not currently using it. Light entity card I'm using. Minigraph card is the most used card here at my setup. This is card used for all the graphs. Mini media player is card I'm using to control media devices. This one is strange. Okay, I installed it, and this should be really simple integration. So let's look at it. So let's click it here. You install it. You just provide template. So template really should be something like that, meaning that it matches everything that has in itself at the end underscore total. Okay, and then it pulls all those sensors out and displays them, and it has to look something like this. Okay, so yeah, that's not working as it should be working. If we go here just a second, configure UI, edit, I'm pulling everything that has total consumption, and as you can see, I have only here one sensor. And if we go to the developer tools, no, let's go to configuration, entities. You see that I have 3 devices, all 3 of them ending with underscore total underscore consumption. Yeah, okay. If anybody has any kind of idea how to fix it, great. If not, it will be just one of those add-ons that I end up not using. I added up this, but no, it's not working as it should be. I tried to use it at my daughter's room, but unfortunately it's not working as it should. Just a second. Okay, let me show you if I didn't remove it. So I had it here and I was playing with it, but and unfortunately, yeah, it's not I never was able to get it working as it should. So yeah, one of those components that you have installed but end up not using. Okay, secondary info, great. Simple thermostat, yes. Slider, I'm not using. No, I'm using it for controlling a group of lights. Okay, upcoming media, well, I'm using it kinda, not completely. I have it installed, but I'm not using Plex anymore, and I'm currently on the Ambi. I prefer it much better, but I think that I will try. I think a friend of mine sent me a link. It's how it's called, Open Media Vault, something like that. I will try that one. I'm still not sold out on idea to pay somebody for ability to see your own content. So this is the problem I'm currently having with all of those solutions. Plex, I'm irritated because I have to use their authentication service, so this is big no-no for me. I will definitely not be using it ever again until they allow you to have instance that will be managed completely locally without sending anything to the cloud. So Ambi for me is currently working, but I think I will try that Open Media Vault or something like that. Vertical card, no, and weather card, yeah, I'm trying to see if I can find something better for the weather widget. Okay. Somebody mentioned Node-RED some time ago, so let's look if it opens. Nope, it will not open because, yeah, same as Edgard. I think it's not protected by the SSL and I cannot open it this window. I have to type in the URL. Okay, Portainer, everybody knows. I bore people with the Portainer. It's now really working great. I enter it. Hi, Peter. Yes, I'll come back to that. I only go here once a month to clean up all the unused images. So I just, select what I want to remove. These are usually the old images. As you can see, the last one was pulled on 24th, so yesterday. Then we had two Edgard images on 23rd. So I just remove all those images to keep the space tidy on Synology. But on the other hand, I think I have about four, I don't know, 4 terabytes of space, free space now. So I don't care that much about images not getting used. Visual Studio Code. This is definitely my number one and most frequently used integration. But I'm having a lot of issues lately. I think, yeah, as you can see, this one. That's why I opened it. It keeps popping up this window, and I think that this is the problem. Okay, my dog is having issues, and I think that it is a problem with the RAM, but I'm not sure on what side, because first that started to pop up on my test environment, and really my test environment is very limited in resources, both in a CPU and also in the terms of the in terms of the RAM. But this one is working. This one is hosted on a machine that has a lot of CPU power and a lot of RAM, and it started popping up. Here, when I press OK, reload, it will usually not show anymore. On that machine, it keeps popping up every couple of minutes. So I don't know if anybody noticed. What I did previously is always I added configuration files in my Home Assistant how-to videos with the Visual Studio Code. Last 4 or 5 videos I stopped using that, and I went back to the file editor or configurator or whatever it is. Okay, let me go back to the thermostat integration. So what I have, what I have is tado integration, and I've been using tado now for over 5 years. I think 6, maybe 7 years. I'm not sure, but I had tado long before I installed Home Assistant. Let's go to where to general. No, general. Let's go to integrations, tado. So I have 4 sensors. I have bridge. I have in a living room smart thermostat. I also have smart valve in the living room, and then I have 2 additional smart valves. I started with the thermostat, and it was really great. As I said, I had it for at least 5 years. I think I'm now in this apartment 5 years, and I had it in the apartment before that, so it must be more than 5 years. The integration with the tado is excellent. It's using API. It's really pulling the page from their own application page. So the same place where the application for tado is pulling data, this integration is also pulling it from there. It has built-in device tracker. Device tracker for tado is used as automation, so that system itself starts heating or stops heating based on your location. So for example, if all of us go out in the winter and we are, I don't know, 500 meters away, the sensor will notice that there is nobody inside the apartment, and it will start to cool down the apartment, meaning it will not be reheating or keeping the temperature at the same level. It will start to slowly allow it to drop, but it will only allow it to drop up to the point where you can heat back your apartment very quick. I don't know if you understood what I'm saying, Peter. So it's the further away from the home you are, the temperature inside the apartment can be lower. So if we are, for example, 200 kilometers from the apartment, it would allow temperature to fall to the minimum allowed. Let's say it's, I don't know, 12 degrees. And based on the location where we are, meaning that if we start to approach apartments, so for example, we are now 150 kilometers, 100 kilometers, based on this data, based on the current outside temperature, based on the information if there is sunlight or not, it will decide when to start heating apartment, so that when we get to 0 kilometers from the apartment, we will have temperature we are using. There are a couple of ways you can also set it up. One of the ways, we are using it in a semi-eco mode, so you can set it in eco mode. Eco mode is that it will start heating when you enter the apartment. Second option is I want to have my normal temperature the same the instance I enter the apartment, so it will start to heat a little bit sooner. And the third option is, okay, I will be heating the apartment, but maybe it will take additional 10 to 15 minutes to reach the optimal temperature. So if you look at the winter, you are outside, you feel cold, and if you enter your apartment, any temperature that is above, I don't know, 19, 20 will already be warm for you. And when you dress, when you remove your clothes, jacket, shoes, boots, or whatever, in the meantime, it will heat apartment up to your desired level. No, this is really managed by their system. So this one requires your internet connection. The great thing with this integration that you can control it, override it with Home Assistant. So this is the data from the tado sensors. It's in auto mode, meaning that tado is managing what's going on with the system. Currently, inside temperature is 24.4, heating is set to 22.3, and as soon as this temperature falls below this one, it will start to heat. Also, automatically it will change from home to away, but you can also manually change it from home to away. For the smarter heating systems than the one I have some French chateau, I don't know what it's called, chafatos. No, sorry, not going to speak French. See, so for the smarter systems, it allows radiators or thermostat to send data of how much heat is needed. As you can see, there is 0% now, and it can go all the way up to 100%, meaning that it can say, yeah, I want heat, but you do not have to give me 100% of your power. You can just give me 25% of the power. So this is something that can be integrated into the modern, let's call it smart heating systems. Great thing about it is that it works as a complete system, meaning that even if my living room temperature is optimal and one of the kids' rooms is not warm enough, the system will shut down the valve in the living room, shut down the valve in the other room, and then allow heat to go only into the room that is colder than it should be. What this allows me also to play with the routines, meaning that one of my kids goes only to school in the morning, the other one goes 1 week in the morning, the other one in the afternoon. This was, of course, before the pandemics. Now they are just sitting at home. So it allowed me to have different needs for temperature and different temperature in different rooms. And the system also tracks the cooling of the rooms. It knows your position and current weather information. So if it sees that today will be sunny day, for example, and it knows that when there is sunny day, I can expect 1 or 2 degrees from the sun to come inside the apartment because I have a lot of windows, it knows that it doesn't need to heat up as much as it would need to heat up when there is a, I don't know, no sun, cloudy or rain. So it's really pretty smart system. But on the other hand, I think that each valve costs around 100 euros, something similar to that, and thermostat itself costs about 150 euros. So yeah, it adds up. And the question is, do you really ever get your return on investment on that? But on the other hand, you do get a lot of improved comfort, or you can also say it like that. It gives you a lot of statistical information. It tracks if the windows are open or not. So when it detects that the window is open, it will stop heating. It can warn you that the window is open for longer than XY minutes. But based on that, it also gives you some indicative information about the quality of air. So on one side, it stops heating, but on the other side, it knows that fresh air needs to come inside your apartment. And if you do not open your window, your indoor air quality will get lowered. Indoor air quality information will get lowered. This is not based on the real actual values of the air quality. This is just based on the calculation that, hey, you didn't open window for 2 days. So yeah, you probably have, too much CO2 inside, or you do not have fresh air. So yeah, that's like that. I'm sorry, my throat is, yeah. I think I reached my limit in terms of how long I can speak. So back to the Visual Studio Code. This is what I showed previously. These are all of my integrations I have, all of my configurations. I really, and all those gray files here are not visible or available in the GitHub repository. Well, none of the files currently is, because all of them are private at this moment, but I really am working to get them published. You're welcome. Yeah, I really do hope that I will be able to publish this information very soon. Where are my glasses? I don't see anything. Okay. Not this one. Sorry. This one. One thing that is great for all the users of the Home Assistant is the simplicity. It's still not simple to use it in terms of some things you do have to tweak by hand, but it's getting easier. More and more integrations are available through the user interface. You do not have to add them to your YAML files. But on the other hand, with that, we are also losing on the community side of Home Assistants, because I know when I started with the Home Assistant, I spent a lot of nights looking at various configurations from other people, and I was trying to find the snippets of code that I can reuse, or some ideas inside that code. So with more integrations available through the UI, people are starting to use this configuration or YAML part of the configuration less and less. And at what point we will lose the benefits of having those repositories available. Yeah, Python scripts, I don't know why I'm using it. Okay, I wanted to open entities. Just a second. No. One thing that I'm really sorry that I didn't make video of is this Telegram part. As you can see, I have a lot of files that are related to Telegram. And yeah, I'm sorry that I didn't make video on that, because I think that this is really neat feature. Hopefully somebody or me will make it one day. Let me try and find the control panel here. Okay, I think I showed this previously, is that you are able to use Telegram. I don't know if anybody is using from people on the stream or not Telegram. I used it previously because I also played a game called Ingress from Niantic. I don't know if anybody heard of that game or not. And let's call it the official unofficial application for the communication was Telegram, and that was the company Niantic. Niantic was part of the Google, and it was later spinned off as an independent company. They are the company that also worked on the Pokemon game, Pokemon Go, I think. Their first augmented reality game was Ingress. So yeah, sorry for Rebel. Okay, so what this allows you, it allows you to use your bot to present you with the menu. Menu can be either with the text buttons or with the real buttons, where you just touch specific button and trigger something else. So for example, here you would touch these lights and it would trigger command lights, and then it would take you to the Telegram lights menu. And in the lights menu, then you would have option all on, all off, or just select room that you want to turn the light on or off. So it's really neat way to either use slash commands for the bot, or to use touch screen as a Telegram bot GUI to control your home. This is really neat feature. This is not definitely my code, meaning yeah, I did change it and adapt it to myself. But what I was saying, this is the code that I found on somebody else's repository and then tweaked it and reuse it for my purpose. So this is really thing that I will be missing in the future when we transfer completely to the built-in integration, so the Home Assistant. But the team of Home Assistant is really doing great work. They are building more and more stable Home Assistant. The speed of the system has really improved, although I still cannot open either history or anything similar to that. Let me try and see. Yep. Okay, let me switch here. Okay, so if I go to logbook, it will take 10 minutes for it to open. I think the history also. But on the other hand, I'm aware that my system is not optimized and I have a lot of glass. I have a lot of entities. I don't know if I can see a count somewhere, but there really are a lot of entities here. So getting all that information either in logbook or as a history, even for the last 3 hours, yeah, it will be a lot of processing needed to be done on my Synology. Okay, anybody has any kind of a question maybe? If not, I'm losing my voice, so I think I better wrap up the stream for today. I have been talking for the last hour and hour and 40 minutes. Yeah. I really would like to thank everybody for joining today's stream. I will try to make a regular once a month stream, and also, as I said, also in the each stream I'll try to give you some information of what I'm currently working on, just as a reminder, or for anybody that visits us later. So currently I'm working on this is the sorry, just a second. Currently I'm working on this. So this is the HiGrow plant sensor. The video for that will probably be next week. Also, I'm working on DIYBMS from Stuart Pitaway. After the stream, I will be posting a link to GitHub and the community page of the where you can find more information about that. So yeah, these are the projects I'll be working on in the period probably till the next stream, and next stream will be probably in the late August because I have holidays and still have a lot of work. Hope to get a little bit of sea time this year and run away from Zagreb and everything that has happened here in this year. It was really fun year. I had a tweet yesterday. Just let me try to find it. Let me open. I'm not that active on the Twitter, but I do post once in a year. Okay, Twitter. Profile. Yeah, this was a. Just give me a second to switch the window. Properties. Okay, so this was a tweet from yesterday. 2020 in a nutshell: earthquake, pandemic, flash floods. This is how street looked yesterday evening. Yeah, we had about a foot of water in the road. Yeah, it's really fun. So I really am looking forward to some vacation time and getting away from everything. Although I will be using ferry, so yeah, again, a lot of water around me. If there are no more questions, thank you, Vari, for sticking here for 1 hour and 40 minutes, and Raspberry 2. My repository, as I said, I hope to have it. I'm soon going on a vacation, and I will be taking my. Oh yeah, did I mention that I managed to fix my old Surface Pro? So yeah, I did manage to fix my Surface Pro 4 that I had for couple of years. Battery died, then I managed to break the wire for the screen. Now I did fix it, so I'm using that Surface Pro only for, you know, everything related to what I'm doing. To, you know, I have Visual Studio Code there, so I can do programming there. I have a lot of things that help me to prepare for recording or to work on a setup. So I will be taking that on a vacation too, and I will be working on my repository. And yeah, John, I hope to have it, let's say, in the next 2.5 weeks. Yeah, Dr. Z is streaming tomorrow. We have packed, we have a deal. He doesn't know about that deal, so but yeah, I know. I've seen that he moved his stream to Sunday. I think that his regular time was Saturday previously, but I see that it's Sunday. I don't know if I will be joining tomorrow. I watched all the streams from Dr. Z, but I think that I will not be because they are showing Star Wars Episode 5. And I think I already seen it about 74 or 78 times, so I will be probably watching it with the kids tomorrow. Yeah, you know, I have a DVD or Blu-ray with the movie, but it's still not the same when you have it, you know, playing on a TV and watching it on a Blu-ray. Yeah, so probably I will be just popping a bit on Dr. Z stream tomorrow, just for a couple of minutes. Thank you once again, guys, for joining the guys, and I hope girls too, for joining this stream. Thank you for, you know, sitting here and listening to my babbling for the last almost 2 hours. I hope everybody will have a nice summer. Definitely. I hope everybody has a great summer. I hope you and your families are okay and safe and take care of each other. And I will be seeing you next time. Until then, bye bye and have fun.